Have you ever wondered how far you could go if you just stopped doubting yourself? Most people think strength comes from muscles or endurance, but the scariest power out there is the unshakable mind, the one that doesn't give in to chaos, doesn't surrender to pain, and doesn't lose focus even when everything seems lost. The truth is, the world doesn't break the strong. It just reveals who hasn't built themselves up from the inside yet. What separates winners from quitters isn't talent, it's discipline. It's the emotional control to stay calm when everything's screaming at you to stop. It's the kind of consistency that turns weakness into fuel. Maybe you think you weren't born for this. But nobody's born strong. Strength is forged. Every failure sharpens you, every fall teaches, and every comeback builds a self-confidence that time can't erase. That's the real entrepreneurship of the soul, learning to rebuild yourself until mind and body become one. And when that happens, results stop being some distant dream and become living proof of who you chose to become. There's a moment when life backs you into a corner and asks, are you going to keep sleeping or wake up to who you really are? That's when true inner entrepreneurship is born, the kind that starts inside before it makes any money outside. It's the instant when you realize that discipline is freedom, not a prison. The awakening isn't magical, it's sweaty. It's when you get that those motivational quotes you used to repeat actually make sense now. 'Cause they hurt. You see, you don't need more time, you need consistency. And in that recognition of effort, the first ray of genuine self-confidence appears. Waking up is looking in the mirror and seeing both the fear and the potential. It's realizing that emotional control is the only shield that can get you through modern life's uncertainties. The world changes, people change, but whoever masters themselves never loses their way. And when that new perspective takes hold, the outside noise starts to quiet down. You don't need to prove anything to anyone, just to yourself. Every decision aligned with your truth generates results that echo across all areas, from body to spirit, from wallet to mind. But this awakening, though freeing, brings a burden, noticing the weight of what still needs to be eliminated. And that's exactly where the next stage of the journey begins. There comes a point when growth isn't about accumulating anymore, it's about eliminating. True entrepreneurship of the mind begins when you learn to let go of what doesn't serve you. Ideas, habits, people, distractions. It's almost surgical. Each cut opens space for consistency to flourish. Eliminating is an act of courage. It requires emotional control to let go of what's comfortable but holds you back. It's understanding that not all movement is progress and that sometimes staying still is the most disciplined thing you can do. Silence becomes an ally and ego a declared enemy. Self-confidence is born when you start choosing what stays. And believe me, it's liberating. The less noise, the more clarity. The more clarity, the better the results. Life stops being about having more and becomes about being more. Elimination is the portal to mental lightness. This is where true power starts getting refined, the kind that comes from unwavering focus. The modern warrior doesn't need armor, needs discernment. But to sustain this new state, you need something even deeper, an immovable, unshakable mind. And that's the next step on the path. Some people think strength is yelling louder, but real strength is in silence. Ejoshin is the state of mind that doesn't waver, even when the world's crumbling around you. It's the heart of conscious entrepreneurship, the kind that understands emotional control is worth more than any impulsive reaction. An immovable mind isn't cold, it's wise. It observes without getting lost in chaos, chooses with discipline, and acts with self-confidence. It's the calm of someone who's learned that not every battle needs fighting, and that victory often lies in not moving. Having an immovable mind is cultivating consistency through storms. It's keeping on planting when the wind insists on ripping up your seeds. It's knowing that lasting results come from those who stay firm, even when the world shouts, quit. This immobility isn't passivity, it's mastery. A mastery that transforms energy into direction, fear into purpose, doubt into precise action. When the mind quiets down, vision expands. And it's in this clarity that the warrior awakens the next stage of the journey, understanding the path they've chosen to walk. Being a warrior isn't fighting every day, it's choosing your battles with wisdom. The true modern warrior gets that entrepreneurship is more than chasing profit. It's waging a silent war against your own limitations. The fight is internal and the battlefield is the mind. On the warrior's path, discipline is the thread that stitches every action together. There's no room for excuses, only for constant learning. Every fall teaches, every mistake reveals a new layer of self-confidence. It's a process that demands consistency, because courage without direction is just wasted impulse. The warrior doesn't seek glory, seeks results. They know real power is discreet, and the biggest enemy is their own ego. Emotional control is their invisible sword. Patience, their silent shield. While the world rushes, they observe, understand, and only then act. Walking this path is an act of presence. It's waking up every day willing to beat exhaustion, doubt, and complacency. Being a warrior is transforming the ordinary into daily discipline. And as they walk, they notice something bigger emerging. A constant awareness that doesn't abandon them, even in victory. Zanshin is the state of being present even after the end. It's the gaze that stays alert even when the arrow's already been shot. In the world of entrepreneurship, this translates to consistency. It's not about acting only when there's motivation, but maintaining focus when enthusiasm fades. Permanent awareness is the secret of those who achieve solid results. While many relax after a win, the wise person observes, learns, and adjusts. They understand that discipline is a practice, not a moment. Every decision, every thought, shapes what comes next. Maintaining the state of Zanshin is having emotional control even in small things. It's noticing when ego tries to steal credit, when haste wants to grab the wheel. It's taking a deep breath and remembering. The game only ends when the mind says it's over. Whoever masters Zanshin masters themselves. And by mastering themselves, they gain true self-confidence. The kind that doesn't need showing off and 'cause it's felt. Awareness becomes like a constant flame, lighting every step of the journey. But to keep that flame burning, you need to reach an even deeper level of inner stability, the one where nothing can move you anymore. Foshin is the supreme mastery of serenity. It's when the world's noise has no more power over you. The true master of entrepreneurship learns that the secret to progress is maintaining emotional control, even when everything seems to be falling apart. The firm mind is the foundation of great results. The mind that doesn't move is the one that observes chaos without becoming part of it, doesn't react, responds, doesn't rush, acts at the right time. And this calm isn't born by chance but from discipline refined on tough days, when quitting seemed easier. Whoever cultivates Foshin develops a self-confidence that doesn't depend on applause. They know who they are, even when nobody recognizes them. This silent strength creates consistency, because whoever doesn't waver doesn't get lost. Focus becomes compass and silence, power. When the mind doesn't move, the world reorganizes around it. Emotions become tools, not enemies. This is the point where human beings stop just reacting to life and start creating their own reality. And from this unshakable stability comes the next stage, understanding emptiness as strategy. In the heart of silence lives wisdom. Heiho, the strategy of emptiness, teaches that real power isn't in accumulating, but in understanding. In entrepreneurship, this means learning to take smart pauses, creating mental space to see what others don't. Emptiness is fertile when there's discipline to sustain it. While many get lost in information overload, the wise person chooses what's essential. They understand that consistency isn't doing everything, but doing what matters with emotional control. Emptiness is the gap between impulse and action, where clarity is born. The true strategist doesn't fear silence, they seek it. That's where self-confidence matures because external noise shuts up and the inner voice becomes audible. In emptiness, ideas reorganize and results become the natural consequence of a mind that thinks calmly and acts precisely. Heiho isn't absence, it's contained power. It's the art of mastering time, reaction, and energy. It's where the warrior understands that by emptying themselves they become limitless. And when emptiness becomes comfort, the most challenging step of all emerges. Letting go of the self. Sudami is the point where the warrior drops their own chains. It's the moment to abandon the ego, that old imposter that whispers, "You need to prove something." In the entrepreneurship of the soul, this means stopping acting for approval and starting to act for purpose. It's liberating, but it requires emotional control and discipline. When the I dissolves, the weight disappears. Self-confidence stops being arrogance and becomes serenity. You don't need to compete anymore because you get that the only valid comparison is with who you were yesterday. That's true consistency, improving in silence without needing to be seen. Abandoning ego is understanding that success isn't about beating everyone, but beating yourself. It's knowing how to lose without diminishing yourself and win without getting cocky. The mature warrior understands that results are reflections of inner balance, not the rush for recognition. Sutemi is surrender. It's throwing yourself into the unknown without fear, trusting your own preparation. When ego dies, space is born for total transformation. The deepest and most inevitable of all, transformation doesn't happen all at once. It's the result of consistency plus time. It's the reflection of someone who faced their own chaos and chose discipline over doubt, emotional control over reaction. True entrepreneurship of the mind is building yourself from the inside, brick by brick, until nothing can knock you down anymore. Transforming yourself is a silent act. While the world expects to see visible changes, you're polishing the invisible. Thoughts, beliefs, habits. Self-confidence is born from this internal process, from this daily work that nobody applauds, but that builds the foundation for the greatest results. Complete transformation is when fear stops being the enemy and becomes fuel. It's when pain gains purpose and effort becomes natural. At this stage, you're not seeking balance anymore. You become balance itself. That's the beauty of the journey, realizing that in the end, everything you were looking for outside was always inside. And when the new you fully awakens, the last and most powerful stage emerges, the return to center. After crossing through chaos, silence, and emptiness, the warrior returns to the starting point. But now they're different. The invincible mind isn't the one that never falls, but the one that gets up with consistency, with emotional control, and with the certainty that everything has a purpose. That's the true spirit of inner entrepreneurship. The return to center is the union between discipline and lightness. It's when self-confidence stops being an effort and becomes a natural state for someone who knows who they are. The mind doesn't need to win anything anymore. Just flow. Every thought becomes an ally, every choice, an expression of earned wisdom. The invincible mind is calm but powerful. It's firm but flexible. It's the reflection of someone who learned that the greatest results come from within, not from outside. Whoever returns to center doesn't seek to control the world anymore, only masters themselves. And when this state is reached, the cycle completes. The warrior realizes there's no end, only new beginnings, new internal battles, new awakenings. So tell me, are you going to keep letting fear decide for you, or are you finally going to take control of your own mind? 'Cause in the end, it all comes down to one choice. Keep reacting to the world or start creating it. The discipline, emotional control, and consistency you develop today will define the results you'll reap tomorrow. Life doesn't reward those who just wish. It rewards those who act. True entrepreneurship isn't about opening businesses, but opening consciousness. Every firm step, every conquered thought, every silent restart builds your self-confidence. That's how the mind becomes invincible. So before you leave this video, think, which version of you is going to get up tomorrow? The one that complains about circumstances, or the one that decides to transform them? The mental and physical strength you're looking for is already there, waiting for your first move.